so-called One Big Beautiful Bill passed by the Senate yesterday with no votes to spare. House Speaker Mike Johnson could hold a vote on final passage today.
This is no longer just a House bill. It's not a Senate bill. It's the bill of the people, of the hardworking American people, and we are going to deliver it.
Republican opposition so far not enough to hold it back.
That Rules Committee debated the bill for about 12 hours last night and will take it up with the full House of Representatives about 9 this morning, and a vote is expected later today. House Speaker Mike Johnson told our own Sean Hannity last night he expects the big, beautiful bill to pass. And just 2 House Republicans voted against reporting the bill out of the Rules Committee. Ralph Norman and Chip Roy, who have long expressed reservations over this bill that now totals some 940 pages. No Democrats voted to advance it. And, of course, the Republicans can only afford to lose 3 votes if all Democrats vote against it.
It's Fox's Lucas Tomlinson in D.C. There's a settlement worth at least $16 million in President Trump's lawsuit against CBS parent company Paramount over edits to a Kamala Harris interview the president called election interference. A man accused of stabbing 4 University of Idaho students to death in 2022 is expected in court today to change his plea to guilty.
We expect Bryan Kohberger will enter guilty pleas to all 4 counts of first-degree murder and that 1 count of felony burglary. He will waive his right to any appeal on these charges moving forward. There will be a sentencing date that will be set likely a month out from now, where he will receive those 4 consecutive life sentences without parole. And this is all to take the death penalty off the table, which his team has been fighting for since it was filed notice of this years ago. We could expect the prosecution to lay out some of the facts that support this, but as far as any details of the crime, we may not be hearing those this afternoon.
Talks to Chanley Painter in Boise. America's listening to Fox News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
You hear that? That's Mike, sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZzzQuil Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Trump administration approves a plan to use the National Guard as immigration judges at a new detention facility in the Florida Everglades.
Officials here think they have found their way around a huge bottleneck, and that is the number of illegal immigrants waiting to see a deportation judge. If they're not just going to be caught and released, they need to have a deportation hearing. So what they're going to do down in Florida is they're going to take qualified National Guard judge advocates, and they're going to deputize them as immigration judges. That could allow many migrants to have hearings within 48 hours, limiting their time at Alligator Alcatraz. Tom Homan, the border czar, now reports total Border Patrol encounters for the entire month of June 2025 was 6,070. That is less than a single day under Biden.
Fox's Peter Ducey at the White House. The Sean Diddy Combs jury in New York has reached yet to be disclosed verdicts on 4 of 5 counts and resumes deliberations today on the most complicated racketeering conspiracy charge. The Dalai Lama says he will have a reincarnated successor and has a message for the Chinese government.
Just days before his 90th birthday, Tibet's spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama, has confirmed he won't be the last to hold the title. He sent a video address to a religious conference saying the 600-year-old institution will continue after his death. China views the Dalai Lama as a separatist and insists it will choose his successor. But in his statement, the Dalai Lama said only a trust he established will have the authority to make that call. Tibetan Buddhists believe senior monks are reincarnated, and the Dalai Lama is chosen if officials are convinced he harbours the soul of his predecessor. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
The Australian airline Qantas says a data hack on Monday exposed the personal information of 6 million customers, including some email addresses, phone numbers, birth dates, and frequent flyer numbers. No credit card or passport information, though. I'm Chris Foster. This is Fox News.
The Redbird Recap is Here's a look at local news. Well, hundreds grieving a Champaign's 16-year-old, making sure his life remembered even after it was taken. Arion Turner was shot and killed over the weekend last week, but his family said his legacy lives on. Community members showing support at Centennial Park Monday by releasing balloons. New laws go into effect in the state of Illinois. The state's gas tax going up by over 48 cents a gallon. It makes Illinois the second highest gas tax rate in the country. The city of Chicago's minimum wage for employers with 4 or more employees increasing to $16.60 an hour. There's also a tax increase on Airbnb rentals, sports wagers, and tobacco. A 5-year wait for new public transportation is nearly over in Champaign County. In 2020, the county area rural transit system awarded 11 new vehicles to completely expand and replace their existing collection, but due to supply chain issues, it took longer than expected. C-Carts provide affordable public transportation to the community. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Well, this is like, I guess, this should be like Thursday. This is kind of like Thursday.
But it's Wednesday.
Yeah, but it's kind of like Thursday.
Okay.
Because tomorrow, that's it, and then we're off for 3 days.
You're right.
That's an on-air way to tell Greg Solier no weather Friday, so.
Well, thank you. You're very kind.
Right. Well, it's the 4th of July.
Being on duty for this stuff, we've got to help people to get along when it's rainy and stuff, stormy this holiday time of the year. So.
Well, we'll text them.
Thank you.
We'll tell the people via text or something.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, good morning. It is July 2. It's Wednesday. I'm Stevie J. This is Diane Ducey.
Hello.
This is meteorologist Greg Solier. And I'm just debating whether to play this. I'm debating.
Just why?
Guess what the number 1 city for bed bugs is?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Control company, Orkin, and apparently has the thing for Chicago. Here's why. The company says the Windy City is number 1 when it comes to bed bugs. It's the 5th year in a row Chicago has topped Orkin's list.
Okay, you said...
Not good.
No. This is the worst part.
We've also topped their list for rattiest cities. Orkin says the rankings are based on the number of bed bug treatments they've done over the past year.
And this is the worst part.
Champaign ranked number 9 on their list. Milwaukee came in at number 10.
What?
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Champagne? Leave me out of your stupid list.
Now, is this like everything, like homes and like, hotels, motels, that type of thing?
They said treatment.
No.
Treatment. So Chicago 1, Cleveland 2, Detroit, LA, Indianapolis, Washington, Grand Rapids, Columbus, and Champaign. And Milwaukee's next at 10.
I know. I heard that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, there you go.
Gross, man. Gross.
Well, first of all, I thought you can't even, you really can't see them.
I know that.
They're too little. You have to have some sort of infrared.
Right.
And some people pack infrared little thingies to check for bed bugs.
Well, I mean, if you stayed out a lot, you get the wand of the black light or whatever to make sure you're good.
Well, when Grace and Benjamin studied overseas in New Zealand, they stayed at somebody's house.
Yeah.
And Gracie had bumps all over her legs.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks on hosting me.
Yeah, well, that's not a very positive start to the morning.
You think?
When the guy popped champagne in there, I just said, what?
Right.
I disagree. Weather brought to you this morning by the Urbana Park District.
Hey, remind you the pool's always open, and it's the fresh hangout zone for grades 6 through 12 tomorrow. If you want to explore between 3 and 5:30 and find out the details at urbanaparks.org.
I've never thought of gosh, I better check this forever. I mean, we stayed in Marion, Illinois. I didn't look for Emma's nice, clean hotel.
That's right.
So unless you have one of those infrared things that Diane had brought up, that you can't tell,
no,
right? They just come out, and they come out when you are in bed.
No, I think they're in there, but you can't see them. They're microscopic. I mean, they're really bed bugs are really small.
Huh.
So now it just freaks everybody out.
Yeah. Now we're doing online searches in Central Illinois to find out more information.
Oh, okay. And all you have to do is go to some AI, ChatGPT or whatever, and just say, how do you detect?
Bedbugs.com.
Just go to, how do you check for bed bugs?
Okay.
They'll tell you exactly how to do it. And then the darn thing starts going, would you like me to tell you where you can get the machine to buy it? I mean,
that's right.
They keep going. They expound on it. All right, sir. It's the 2nd of July. What you looking at for the coming weekend?
How do I top this? Well, I mean, you got the sunshine, warmth, that long lines getting into the pool, I'm sure. Going to be an optimum pool period of weather this weekend. The only mention of rainfall chances, it's iffy on Saturday. Wouldn't bet on it. Probably better odds Sunday and into Monday. But anytime we get rain in July here, and respectable and moderate coverages at amounts, all the while better. Nice to have a comfortable air mass in position. The dew points are back down into the 60s, much like area temperatures this morning early on. 68 at Willett and Savoy, 70 at Danville, same at Bloomington Normal, 69 at the Kankakee. A couple of spotty showers over the westernmost Corn Belt, no bearing on us here in the shorter term. Tropics getting a little more active into the northeastern Gulf. There'll be some big rains down there in the coming days, fetch into Mexico. Otherwise, the Atlantic Basin itself, the Atlantic Ocean area, very quiet, although we are very much early in the season. 87 here today with sunshine, 67 tonight, 88 tomorrow. Holiday weekend forecast is a partly cloudy, hot, humid July 4th at 92. Slim chance at 20%. We pop a thunderstorm Saturday afternoon. Don't worry about it, 93. Then 50-50 on the rainfall into Sunday and Monday. Daytime temperatures near 90. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, so we got the good weather for the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Nice and warm as expected.
Yeah, today's a great day. Of course, all the setup and things like that for the Champaign County Freedom Celebration happening tomorrow. And then they'll be taking down on the 5th of July in case
happening tomorrow?
Yeah, they're setting things up with the area where the fireworks are shot off needing to be...
They block off roads or anything? Or?
I mean, not tomorrow.
Okay.
But they're setting up the fence and the signs of all our sponsors. The soundstage brought to you by Kraft Heinz with Nathan Applegate on stage around 6. The parade, of course, at 4:30. And keep in mind, we're going from 4th and Kirby to Gregory. Gregory to...
Hold on, so I just go too fast.
4th and Kirby.
The stage, staging. Yeah.
And
so they're lined up however many entries there are. Okay.
They're going to be between Bielefeld and the State Farm Center for lining it up. And we talked to Alvin Decker yesterday, Stevie. There were a few people that approached me and said that was a good interview. And then he's really spry and with it, even though he's approaching 100 years next year. So great to hear from him.
Yeah. If you're
totally grateful about his farmer life and family support.
Just driving and...
That's it. Got that Model A.
Looks like his vision and hearing are fine.
I know. It was great to have him and his son Ken Decker in here. There was 7 kids and 16 grandkids and 7 great grandkids.
Almost 8 great grandkids.
That's right. In fact, the one who's expecting is planning on going in the air-conditioned tractor, but an old-fashioned tractor and a flatbed with lots of family members. And, of course, I think he's leading the parade in his Model A.
No, he's driving.
I don't know. I think
you're
Ken,
not gonna, you won't
I think
see,
Ken wants to
so
drive.
So he'll just be in the passenger seat.
Exactly.
So
waving.
will you get a good look at him?
I think so.
I mean, sometimes those cars aren't super visible.
That's true.
He should be out on the float.
I wonder if there's a rumble seat in the back of a Model A.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I was very impressed. Alvin did a great job yesterday, and he's so well-rounded. Not only served in World War II and Korean War, an artist and an author.
I think there's 5 books. We brought up a few that he had brought in, but man, what a guy to salute as we celebrate America's pride of the heartland on the 4th of July with that 4:30 parade.
All right, 2 days away. Well, the Cardinals ran into a hot Pittsburgh Pirate team that won 5 straight, the Pirates.
It's true, and we have a day game today that begins at 11:35. Let's get more details.
The Redbird Recap is sponsored by Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. Heal your home with Helitech.
With Ricky Orton, I'm John Rooney, and last night at PNC Park, a rough loss for the Cardinals, falling to the Pirates 1-0. And Ricky, the Cardinals had 2 runners thrown out at the plate in the game.
And they were only 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position. They had some opportunities to score against Paul Skeens. We know how good he is. They had some opportunities, couldn't cash in. Andre Palante was outstanding for the Cardinals, going 7 innings, giving up just 1 hit.
Phil Maton gave up an earned run for the first time since early May. He was the losing pitcher.
Yeah, he actually didn't pitch that poorly, just gave up a bloop double to right, and the Cardinals threatened in the 9th inning, just couldn't get the run across.
So the Cardinals try to salvage a game in the series, and they'll be counting on Sonny Gray to try to get the job done. We're on the air today at 10:40, 11:25 a.m. Ricky will have the lineups, and I'll bring you the first pitch around 11:35 Central. Last night, the Cardinals lost 1-0 to the Pirates in Pittsburgh.
Is your home showing symptoms of foundation issues? Your home's wet basement, dingy crawl space, musty smells, cracked walls, or unlevel concrete shouldn't be ignored. Helitech can help. Life happens in your home. You and your family deserve the best. Helitech offers proven solutions in waterproofing, drainage, concrete leveling, and foundation repair services. Contact us for a free inspection at helitechonline.com.
When the water's high, we'll keep your basement dry. Heal your home with Helitech.
So Sonny Gray on the mound for the Cardinals should be good today.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's hot. They're really actually playing very well. And the Cardinals, 1, 2, 3. Cardinals have been shut out 4 times in the last 10 days. Shut out. It's unusual.
Yeah,
no runs.
It is unusual.
Yeah. So it's kind of hot and cold right now with the Cardinals, but they do need to get one of these today. We'll see what happens. And again, on the air, 10:40 for Cardinal pregame, 11:35 for the first pitch. So plenty of time for the drive this afternoon. It'll be Derek Piper's last regular show. Lon asked me to jump on today.
Okay.
No, I'm going to be on with Derek for a few minutes today. But
well, I thought it was great that Kyle came on the air yesterday.
Kyle Tosk, who's working for the Rockford Peaches. No, that's from
Rivets.
That's from League of Their Own.
Yes.
Yeah, Rockford Peaches. The Rivets is what they're called.
The minor league team or whatever. So he had some stories to tell about that job.
Some baseball team. I don't think it's affiliated with any baseball. I think there's a lot of. We were in Marion, Illinois over the weekend. I saw a bus that said Danville Dans.
Yes.
When did they get a bus?
I mean, good for them. They must be getting some sponsorship
No,
dollars.
I bet what it is, it's kind of like what Peoria Charter do, Rapid and Illini. They probably put the Danville Dans on it just to specifically, show people who they are.
Okay.
That's just a college summer league. You see how many baseball teams there are. It's crazy.
Huh.
It's a lot of kids
I really
playing
never
baseball.
thought much about it, but people say when you go to the Danville Stadium, it is a hoot.
That's where John Goodman did The Babe.
That's right.
Right?
Exactly.
They were looking for people, extras, and you had to go and film in the summer in a suit because that's how they dressed back
That's
then.
right.
Yeah, I remember one of the guys we knew just was sweating profusely.
I'll bet.
So,
and John Goodman's been back in town with Bryan Cranston, who's been doing that Chili Finger movie, who I saw last week at the Buddy Guy show.
Yeah, no, he's been around.
And the dad of the opening act had a Bryan Cranston tattoo on his leg, on his calf. And we noticed that, and we said, that dude is in the audience, right? You're kidding.
Wow. He's just a fan?
He's just a fan.
Maybe his son or
and
something.
I'm like, I'm gonna have to look around. I said hello to him in the lobby because he's in town for a movie. You're kidding.
I mean, that's
the odds.
Kind of weird. Would you put Tom Hanks on a tattoo on your arm?
I did. Bryan Cranston meets him. Is he going, oh, wow.
That's
incredible. I guess thank you.
Calm down. Weather brought to you by Carl.
Carl reminds you, we are in July, and they're talking about the back-to-school physicals. I can talk about that more when we're after the 4th of July. Get more details at carl.org.
Well, again, everyone, let's check weather for Eastern Illinois. Champaign-Urbana vicinity. Pretty quiet, uneventful spell of weather for the next few. Temperature and humidity levels expected to climb back as we approach the 4th of July holiday and in itself. Later on into the holiday weekend, another frontal boundary sagging southward. Next opportunity for some degree of organized rainfall. Sunny, warm for the day today. Just the slightest of a west-northwest wind. Highs about 87. Mostly clear tonight. Comfortable down to 67. Sunshine and warm for the day tomorrow. Light west wind prevails and 88. Well, about near 70 for tomorrow night. Holiday weekend forecast Friday the 4th. It'll be a partly cloudy, hot, more humid day's worth of weather. No rain in the forecast at 92 there. Slightest chance for a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon on Saturday at 93. Scattered showers and thunderstorms. Better odds and coverages Sunday and Monday. Upper 80s and lower 90s there. And back into a slightly cooler, drier air mass with high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s next Tuesday and Wednesday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Take charge of the years ahead with a smart, sound investment strategy and business succession plan. Busey Bank's business and wealth management experts help you envision your best future with powerful insights and proven strategies. Building business and growing wealth since 1868, Busey Bank, proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stock futures are mostly higher after President Trump's tax and spending bill made it through the Senate. It returns to the House. Mortgage rates cooled in the recent week, measured by the Mortgage Bankers Association. The average for a 30-year fixed rate declined to 6.79%. More applications were filed to purchase and refinance. Car sales cooled in June after shoppers rushed to buy in April and May, hoping to get ahead of tariff-related price increases. Analysts say the muted pace could continue. Ford, Subaru, and Toyota have all disclosed plans to raise prices. Crocs are back now that the quirky shoes have gone mainstream and the company is expanding internationally. Analysts at Bank of America are recommending investors buy Crocs shares. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda. Invested in you.
I'm Dana Perino. This week on Perino and Politics, I am joined by former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com.
Or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Must listen to podcasts from Fox News Audio.
I'm Emily Campagno. This week on the Fox True Crime Podcast, I speak with investigative journalist and author Jerry Spieler to discuss Sarah Jane Moore and her attempted murder of President Gerald Ford.
Listen and follow now at foxtruecrime.com.
Stevie J here. With Nate Evans of eXp Realty, you'll always get a stress-free sale for the most money.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to thenateevansgroup.com.
What is most important to you in your life? This is Eric Bolin with Provident Financial Group. Whether you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that help clients like you realize their goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Jesse with Land's Drain Cleaning and Underground Solutions. Hey, do you have sewer blockages, problems? Are your toilets gurgling? Why deal with the headache? Call Land's Drain Cleaning and Underground Solutions today. We can come out and clean your line, camera it, show you what the problem is, and then we have an expert underground team that can make those repairs. 217-355-5512. We are here for you when you need us. Land's Drain Cleaning and Underground Solutions. Why call anyone else?
Brother Johnny coming up, bottom of the hour. Ed Martin, who used to be on the radio. I'm so excited for Ed and contributions to the country. Mm-hmm. But I'm annoyed. I'm just really annoyed that we lost him as a guest.
You'd think he'd find the time.
You'd think he would quit just to be on with us. It's shocking. Anyway, we'll talk to Johnny here coming up, he's coming up for the 4th of July.
Oh, great.
That'll be fun. All right, ESPN 93.5, this whole Idaho murder plea deal thing. This is a guy this has been going on for 2.5 years. And Idaho made a plea deal. Families didn't know about it. They're scrambling. They're standing in line right now in Moscow, Idaho, or Boise, or wherever they moved it. And so there's one dad that wants a death penalty. They don't want a plea deal, but I think the other families are fine with it. So that's going to happen.
The Ford University of Idaho students that were brutally stabbed to death that happened in 2022.
They didn't arrest him for like a month. He just drove back to the east, I guess, where he's from. But, this is, who knows? But you know what? In the plea deal, you didn't make him tell you why. I think for closure or something, maybe that would have helped the families.
Yeah, this...
was this just a random attack?
The father was like, this failed my whole family. They failed me. Idaho has failed.
And apparently, though, at least 2 other families were comfortable with that. They said, no guarantee of a guilty. You never know what a jury's going to think. We had life in prison, no parole. Nothing. No parole board hearings where families have to be dragged in decades later.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like that. And they said appeals can take a decade. You can take a court case and make it on and on and on and on. So you're always engaged in that. It's just awful. Just such an awful story.
And here it says the family received an email with a letter that appeared to move forward with the deal.
I think you need to call people.
I agree.
I mean, let them scream at you. Let them cry. Let them have a little bit of closure somehow.
Wow.
So they're in line right now trying to get into the courthouse. The family will get in. One of the fathers, I guess, the guy that doesn't like this, is protesting outside the courthouse. So anyway, at least that'll go off the front pages here soon, maybe next week, whenever he's sentenced. Again, life in prison, no parole. That's it. They do 4 life prison sentences, I guess, because one can be overturned. So they have backups for backups for backups. That's why I think they do 4. You say, why would you have 4? Well, maybe somebody down the road has a court, a panel of judges or appellate or whatever they do, and they say, no, that's not right. You can't kick that one out. And you still have 3 more. Just to ensure that
I always thought, what if the person were to have cardiac arrest and die and then come back to life
wow,
and say,
that
I'm
counts.
done.
1 done. Got 9 lives, huh? No, it's for court overthrow something.
Okay,
overturn
gotcha.
something. And then the big beautiful bill, Chuck Schumer was able to get the name changed to the Act or something. Nobody will ever call it that.
Okay.
But I guess it was consolation prize for Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader. Anyway, they debated. It went 25 hours yesterday and the day before. And now you've got a $3.3 trillion bill. I hope it's good. It's awfully big. But if Donald Trump gets that vote today in the House and that thing actually gets sent to his desk before July 4th, I heard somebody say yesterday it'll be the greatest one single month in presidential history this century. So it's 25 years. That's one guy's opinion. I mean, he's had a lot of positive things happen here over the last 2 weeks. I mean, just remarkable, all the things he's done, what he did to Iran and to obliterate their nuclear. Then he goes to NATO and he's been trying to get people to go 3% of your gross domestic product toward defense. And they would just balk, stall, and they went from 2 to 5 over some time.
Right.
But still. So, called him daddy.
Huh.
That turned some people off, calling Donald Trump daddy.
I guess so. I was hearing with a text in how a flight from the East Coast, when arrested, stopped at Flight Star on the way to Idaho as the airport was secured and closed shortly for refueling for that Brian Kohlberger case.
So he came in on a private, probably, and just refueled the champagne?
When they transferred him to
Idaho.
refueling champagne.
Well, that's right. Must have been right on the flight plan.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, because you're thinking they came from the East Coast, you'd think he'd be a little further north. Idaho is further north than us, and maybe go through Chicago or something. Anyway,
maybe it was just more convenient to take a smaller airport like us.
Oh, Bloomington, right over here.
True.
Anyway, all right. Well, that's some notoriety, I guess. More infamous than famous. All right, we'll break for the news, Brother Johnny. Next, a whole bunch of things here to play for you. You know that they banned and took away all Leah Thomas's trophies.
I know.
Appropriately.
Right.
So now...
And apologize to those
I had to write
athletes.
a letter. University of Penn wrote a letter saying they're sorry. And meanwhile, how about blank, the woman swimmer who just blanked out on most famous recent swimmer in history. She's the one that said it's not fair.
Right.
It's not fair. What's her name?
Is it Megan something?
Oh, my gosh. We're both blanking out. The woman who's been totally in front of this transgender issue said you can't do it. It's not fair. Keep men out of women's sports. And I forgot the name. Anyway, kudos to her and her consistent efforts.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over
I'm Liz Clayman,
At
and
Parts in
this...
Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Parts. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Parts has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Parts in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
Okay, it was Riley Gaines.
Yes. Of course, Riley Gaines.
How could we have let both of us? Anyway, Riley Gaines'
so
consistent
does she feel
efforts.
vindicated then? Or?
Well, I mean, probably pleased.
Yeah.
I mean, a woman came out 3 years ago and said, there's no way men should be in women's sports. And some social media banned her for saying it.
Unbelievable.
Here's a look at local news. Illinois taking steps to help high school students pursue higher education. New bills aim to improve college access and affordability. One measure streamlines the admissions process, eliminating unnecessary application fees, and expands access to post-secondary education. That's through a new direct admissions program. Federal prosecutors calling for one of the so-called ComEd 4 to be sentenced to more than 4.5 years in prison. Recommendation for John Hooker comes more than 2 years after he and Ann Pramaggiore, Michael McLean, and Jay Dougherty found guilty of conspiring to influence and reward former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan in order to assist with the passage of legislation towards ComEd. American Red Cross expects to have a busy week as Independence Day celebrations get underway ahead of the 4th Friday. And the last week, the Red Cross was responding to the 5 different house fires in central Illinois. They're always looking for more blood donors. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Well, at Watts Copy Systems, they offer cost-efficient solutions for busy offices. If you're interested in a free evaluation, just call them, 217-352-0428. Our weather brought to you by Kramer Siding and Window.
Your premier provider for home improvements. Maybe you should look at the drafty doors or upgrade your windows. And there's some discounts, too. Consider exploring KramerSiding.com.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather. Free Central Illinois, Champaign, Urbana, and vicinity. Nice, comfortable air mass into position. Humidity and dew points are down. They'll begin to creep back up here tomorrow. And it's some heat and humidity, but very much a manageable setup for this 4th of July holiday weekend. Next frontal system will snake its way across the area late in the weekend, early next weekend. Our next opportunity for organized rainfall back into play. Sunny and rain-free for the day-to-day. Lower afternoon humidity. A comfortable day's high of 87. Mostly clear tonight, 67. Just the slightest of a west-southwest wind. Tomorrow, sunny and warm. Light west wind, the high around 88. We'll bottom out near 74 tomorrow night. Weekend forecast. It's a partly cloudy, hot, and more humid 4th of July at 92. Small chance for a thunderstorm in the afternoon on Saturday at 93. Better odds, though, get going over Sunday and Monday with highs upper 80s and lower 90s. Will be a push of slightly cooler, more importantly, drier establishing itself for Tuesday and Wednesday next week. Daytime temperatures still in the upper 80s. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
Here's another home improvement insight from Kramer Siding and Window, a proud member of Prairie Home Alliance. A new front door can instantly upgrade the look of your home and make it more energy efficient. The Kramer Siding and Window team can also install French doors to your deck or patio, welcoming the outside in, or storm doors for an extra layer of protection against the elements. The estimate is free, financing is available, and the business is local. Schedule your beautiful new door today and save 25%. Call us, click on KramerSiding.com, or visit the showroom in Champaign.
All right, we tried Ed Uh-oh. Ed's calling.
You're kidding.
Stop the music. We can't believe it. Johnny, maybe. Hold on.
No way. This is awesome.
Okay, we can't take much of his time. Cue the band. Ladies and gentlemen, Brother Johnny in New Orleans at Bible study where we all belong 24/7. And now Ed Martin, I think.
Yes.
This is Ed.
Hey.
How are you?
Hey, guys. Yeah, I'm good, guys. Sorry. I thought it was like cutting edge radio to call somebody and they don't answer. And then I thought this is really just rude. So I better answer. I'm glad I got you guys. And happy 4th of July coming up pretty fast.
That's right.
Happy 4th of July.
A big, beautiful 4th of July. You know, big, beautiful.
Yeah, Johnny.
Yeah, no kidding,
it's Ed. And Johnny had said just the other day, we know nothing. We lost our guy. I mean, that's weird.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. It's all good. Great to hear your voices, guys.
Well, it's great to have you on. I mean, this is Ed Martin now. He's Deputy Assistant Attorney General of the United States of America. He's the pardon attorney. He's a weaponization guy. There was actually a story, and I don't know if you can comment about it, but a guy that was cutting sharks loose thinking that there was bad people trying to kill sharks, and it was actually some study, and I think they were trying to put him in jail for it. He was this guy saving sharks, and he didn't know it was some OSHA guy or NOAA guy or whatever the thing is, Ed. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but he got a pardon. He got a pardon from Donald Trump recently. I read about that. I thought that was
Yeah. You know, it's funny. The president is to hear him now. I've heard him a couple times talk about the pardon and commutation. You know, so the two things you can get is pardon.
You there, Ed?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So it's been interesting to hear the president talk about this, about the power and what he's looking for. And one of the things is when people are penalized for making mistakes that are sort of otherwise good faith mistakes, like that one, the one you mentioned, is somebody just had no idea that was the wrong thing to do, and it wasn't like it was, there was bad intention behind it. But it's been interesting. You know, I thought you were going to say something else about the science. You talk about weaponization. I was in a long discussion with the head of the NIH, Dr. Bhattacharya, I think is how you say his name, and I went out to see him at NIH, which NIH is 20,000 employees, 27 institutes, and he was talking, broadly speaking, about how research has been and can be used to sort of be weaponized in terms of, targeting and making arguments that are sort of not genuine. Anyway, it's very interesting, and it's an example to me of how many things are happening in the Trump administration that people don't even realize. And his solution was very simple. He said, instead of having research that is not able to be replicated, we're going to replicate it, meaning, you do research, and something like 50% of all research papers can't be replicated, which means you don't really know if they're true. And he said, we're going to actually sort of incentivize replicating these papers, research, so that you can tell what's true and not. And I just thought, this is something that seems obvious, and yet it's happening now with in the Trump administration. And so it was interesting and very, I think, important for people to know. I encouraged the doctor. I'm like, you got to sort of get the word out on what you're doing. That's really interesting.
Well, that's the National Institute of Health. Maybe take it from 20,000 to 10,000 people, which could help us.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I said. I said, 27 institutes. Couldn't you get away with like 8 or 10? I don't know. Like, how many do you really need? But of course, that's where Fauci was. And I will say, this Dr. Bhattacharya's observation, it's my characterization of what he observed to me. Basically, around NIH and around Fauci built up what could be called like the pandemic industrial complex. Multi hundreds of millions of dollars of let's get ready for a pandemic over the last 20 years. And so if you're a hammer, everything's a nail. If you're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on pandemic, then you're going to need a pandemic to work it out. And I'm not making that conclusion, nor did Bhattacharya, but I'm just saying that more I live, guys, the more I think you follow the money, and you're going to have a pretty darn good idea of what's going on. And if you got billions spent to get ready for a pandemic in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, I don't know, maybe you're going to have a pandemic,
Yeah, well, also, Ed, if you spend billions searching 300 feet down into a cave to find some obscure bat droppings, and then bring them into a population center to look at it, you might get a pandemic. Why don't you just leave it in the cave?
I don't mean to do it on this completely, but you know what these guys told me? I mean, basically what they told me, and I finished, and I went back to my office and did the research. Nobody serious says it was anything other than a lab leak. We're doing, over the decade before it happened, they were doing the kinds of research that lets you figure out how to move, things like viruses in and out and weaponize them. That was happening for over a decade. It was banned in 2014. I think that's when it was, supposedly. But everybody now admit, and I actually said in the meeting, I said, is it really true? Like, I feel like there should have been a bigger moment where we all admit to each other that it was a lab leak, and it was the Wuhan lab. It was a lab leak. It was known in September 2019 by the Chinese that it had leaked, and they covered it up, and then we covered up the origins of it to try to hide liability. And that feels like a bigger story to me than I've heard, you know?
No question about it. And we continue to have these. I'm telling you, and I've got to be careful with you because I don't want you to get on MSNBC with anything you say with me. But I am not, sir. I am not a Tom Tellis fan or whatever the guy's name is. The guy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, first of all, he was adamant against you. And then now he does this thing with the big, beautiful bill, and then he resigns when he hears Trump's gonna primary him. I think there's talk about smoke. I don't like this Tillis fella at all. So,
well, all I will say is he didn't treat me very fairly. I feel like it was not. I don't think it was a very fair deal, and so karma's a heck of a thing. And I'll just tell you guys, and don't tell her that I told you. My daughter's 21. And the other day she lied about where she was going. She told us she was going one place, and she went out to a movie with a boy.
What?
So there's a lot of levels that there's a problem. 21-year-old, and it rained, and she got in a little fender bender. Her car slid, and she got a banged the tire, and it probably totaled the car. And I said, karma can really get you. And then, no kidding, she didn't clean her room. And the other day, she finally cleaned her room, and she found a snake in her room. Now, it was a nice little garden snake. But I told her, I said, I want you to know God is teaching you this lesson at this point, not just some sort of karma. But anyway, I think Tom Tillis got a little a dose of karma. And I will say, completely off the record, can't confirm or deny, but I may have received a phone call on Sunday night from a certain guy who said, I just want you to know I'm posting on X, because I'm posting on Truth about this Tillis guy and what he did to you. And I said, oh, thank you, sir. Thanks for the call.
Wow.
So that was a nice gesture.
No kidding. Well,
no kidding. That's fantastic. Yeah. So what about this big, beautiful bill? You're right there down in the swamp. What do you think? To get it through the House is going to be a trick.
No, it's going to go through. Here's a dirty little secret, guys. I'm glad we're together because I could tell you something. The most important thing in Washington, D.C., by far, is something called the calendar. And that members of Congress, that's the last thing they want to do is be in Washington, D.C. on July 4th. They need to be back in the parades and the picnics where all their constituents tell them they're great. And so when Donald Trump picked the 4th of July, he didn't pick it just because he thought it was a fun day. He knew if you set a deadline like this, and so the House will come in, there'll be a hand-wringing, a few things. My prediction is it passes by the midnight tonight, so that everybody can get their flights tomorrow. They might come in the morning for a fake vote so that they can get paid the per diem for being in session tomorrow. Yeah. But there won't be anything. They'll be on 11 a.m. flights back to Omaha to be with their families and all. So that thing is through. Look, it's got some weaknesses like any of these big monstrous bills, but ultimately it's got huge tax cuts for individuals and businesses. It's got huge, what I call welfare to work, where it pushes people. If you're going to get a lot of these benefits like Medicaid and others, you're going to have to do directionally towards getting better, not just getting a handout. And then a lot of the oomph is on illegal immigration and fighting the putting the money there and putting the effort behind getting that thing completed. And so I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be great. And more importantly, Trump's just winning over and over now at this point, so it just feels like it's going to turn out great.
No, I got to tell you that, just by the way, a lot of us don't realize that no tax on tips, how many people that'll affect, and to what degree. It's not a 4% increase here. We're talking about a lot of extra money and a lot of less paperwork or worrying about it. But here's my question about Trump. Do you think he's really that smart, or is he just getting lucky like 20 times in a row? I don't.
Exactly. I don't know. It must be like in the first year or two of Nolan Ryan, and they're like, yeah, he's pretty good, but I mean, he can't keep that going for that long. And then like 20 years later, he's throwing no hitters, and you're like, I guess he's good at this. I don't know, So it's at this point, it's he's got peace deals. He's doing peace deals like coffee break. It's like, yeah, we got Gaza and Israel. They're going to do a ceasefire. That was last night. I don't know. At this point, the great thing is, and I suppose this will be controversial for some people, but the great thing is he's kind of a benign. He's a benign character. He wants everybody to have a lot. So he's not making a bad deal for Congo and Rwanda. He's saying, you guys settle down and people will come there and build hotels and do sorts of that. People are like, oh yeah, we want that. I mean, so it's like the world is benefiting from this character that's just larger and larger and larger than life. So it's amazing to see, and it's the details are in the living, and I like I said, there's so many good things happening for people, not just big things happening for politicians,
But I got to say too, Eddie, it just seems ironic because how many times has he been called a Nazi, a Hitler, a liar? He just lies. All he does is lies. And I think one reason he's having so much success is everybody actually trusts him. They say, well, no, wait a minute, Trump's in now. Oh, now we can do this. Well, what if no, I think we're okay with him. I really think he went through so much and you saw him come through it, and it seemed that he was pretty much getting picked on, and people just he's more credible than people at that level. And so good things happen because people are paying attention. I think what he's saying he's going to do, so we can act on that. I don't know. That's just a theory, but it's amazing.
No, well, certainly there's freedom in being in a second term. Also, I think that he's got a sense that he's just sort of playing with house money. But look, there's nothing like popularity or success that breeds success, right? I mean, at this point, it's kind of like nobody wants to be on that team that's losing, right? And everyone wants to be on a winning team, and that's another part of it that he knows so well how to do. And he turns difficulties into successes for people, right? I mean, he makes hard times into good times for people that are when something goes wrong. My example, myself, I don't get confirmed, and he makes it a better thing for me. Or even whatever he does, I think it's a better thing. He's a master at making you feel like, hey, that didn't work out, but this is going to work out better. And by the way, I'll tell you one quick story that I love to tell. When I was doing the J6 stuff last year, we had an event at Bedminster Trump, and he came to it. And I know him well enough to know, like, he feels a great affinity for kids. He likes to talk to them. And so I said, over there, sir, that's the table full of the kids. Their dads are in jail for J6. He said, oh. And I said, these three are brothers. And I waved, can I bring them up? Yeah. I waved them over. And the three brothers, at the time, 16, 13, and 10. And they're just being destroyed by their dad being gone, right? I mean, it's just the worst thing. And you can't imagine. And he looked at the kids, and he said, it's all boys. And he said, hey, I got to tell you something. And, they're holding their breath. And they're talking. And he said, your lives are going to be great. You're going to have great lives. You know that? Now, when somebody like that, Donald Trump, says that to a kid, like that might be the only thing you need to when you're having the crappiest life ever. But, Donald Trump told me I'm going to have a good, he didn't say you have a good life now. He said, you're going to have a great life. You're going to have a great life. And you sort of, it's like, okay, I'm going to just do that then. You know what I mean? And that kind of thing is such a Trump trait. That's sort of not just optimism, but sort of the expectation, the direction he puts you towards what can be. And you're like, yeah, I think I'll just do that. I think we'll just have tariffs and we'll make more money. It'll work out. Okay, we'll just do it.
Unbelievable.
It'll just work.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, Stevie, it's a shame that we don't hear more about that because I think Trump does a lot of that kind of thing.
Yes.
And we just don't hear very many stories about it. And it'd be so much more inspiring to everybody because he's president. And he did this and he did that. And I'd like to hear more stories.
No, I would too.
Steve had one about him praying about the homeless or this woman. I don't remember.
No, this woman was half just despaired. Both parents died, and she's running down, and he just stopped her. He was on the street at some fundraiser, but he was outside getting some air apparently, and he started talking to her, and she's just, he can see how upset she is. And he said, you need to stop. She said, I was headed for the Brooklyn Bridge. And he said, you got to, out of nowhere, he said, you got to stop thinking about what you're thinking about right now, and things are going to be okay. And he gave her like $200-$300 bills, and just said, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. He said, he saved my life. And those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And then there was this little.
Well, he also prayed. You also said he prayed with her.
Yes. Yes, he did pray with her. Exactly. And then there was a time the limo broke down. Some couple stopped to help them. And a week later, their mortgage was paid off. That kind of stuff. And so it's just we have Ed Martin, just a few more minutes. Ed Martin, the Deputy Assistant Attorney General of the United States, also on the Weaponization Working Group. If people have been wronged, he looks into all of that. It's Ed Martin. Just so happy to have him on. By the way, your daughter's 5 years too young to date. Number one.
Exactly.
Just
Tell me about it. And I don't understand, because I thought she was in the convent, or getting ready for the convent. I don't know what the heck happened, but these things are a surprise to a father,
But and do you like what you are doing?
Yeah, I do. It's on one level, it's a great privilege, and it's on one level it's hard, because what you hear, it's like, I guess it's something like, I'm married to a doctor, but something like a doctor, you see people that are sick, you don't see people that are healthy. I hear a lot of stories and a lot of really hurt people, and so it's kind of, after you get mad, over and over again and angry about what happened, you take, it's a lot of weight, So on the other hand, it's a great privilege to be able, in some cases, to do something about it. Not every time, but even just paying attention to people, as you guys know, is a big deal. And so no, it's great, and it's a special time, I think, in the history of our country, but in my own life and my own career, it's kind of where I'm at a place where I can bring a lot of value to what's going on. I've got enough experience and a sense of things and how to do things that I can do it pretty well. So yeah, it's very gratifying. I mean, but again, it's kind of a lot of people in this country, that have been really beat up by the government, and that's probably not just the Democrats, although Biden was the worst. It's just the way government has become, and so that's a real challenge.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's got to be completely just overwhelming, and I'm just impressed with how you're doing it. You'll be prepared for it. Steve and I might come visit. We're just going to be around. We'll make a grocery run. We'll take you shopping. Do some other things.
I think at this point we'd be happy to do a Grubhub appearance and give you some food and just.
That's right.
But no, we appreciate you jumping on, and we're going to try you every week because we love having Ed Martin on. Always have. Good news though. We had a storm here a few weeks ago, and I can't podcast because nobody can go pick out this clip and whatever you've said.
Still trying to figure that out.
Oh, there you go. Well, listen to this, guys. This is kind of a fun one real quick. I know we're almost out of time. A couple weeks ago when we had a storm here, we lost power, and we lost power for like 2 days. Now, I guess we've just gotten so soft in this country. I remember when I was a kid, you'd lose power for a while. And my children and my wife were like beside ourselves. By the second day, we're like, what are we going to do? We're going to have to, build an ark and get out of here because this is too much, But so I'm glad everybody's okay on the weather front. There's a lot of storms, but always great to talk to you guys.
Yep.
Keep praying for me. And,
Yep.
whenever I can, I'll jump on.
I appreciate
love
it.
talking to you too.
Love it.
Keep
All
it up, Ed.
Thanks,
Stay
Ed.
here in front.
Good job.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Brother Johnny and Ed Martin. Johnny, you still there?
All right, Stevie J. Yes,
Hey,
sir. We'll
yeah,
talk to you
well,
soon.
We had a text in asking to explain more about Brother Johnny's Bible study. I mean, you just get together with, 2 or 3 guys?
No, more than that.
No, it's like 10 of us, and
Yeah.
it's turned into a Zoom call. But we started this Bible study started in like 1970, and it's gone through. So I've known people coming and going for that long. Well, I didn't get until 80, so I'm kind of a rookie. But it's just going through the Bible and talking about in detail the different things that are in each of the books, and it's really fun, especially when you do get with people you just know as well as you could know anyone, because you're talking about everything. When you get into personal religious stuff, it's a pretty intimate discussion, and it's really worthwhile if you have a chance to get into a Bible study.
And Johnny, and I've thought a lot about this, and I think God has a hand in this whole Donald Trump life. I really do.
Oh, really, Steve? Really? I'm kidding.
I mean, look how many of the people in the Bible that obviously weren't perfect that God used to an extraordinary extent. I think Donald Trump is the most current example. No way he comes through all that he came through. No way he turns his head and not shot in the head. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Well, and he said he thinks God saved him to save America, and I think he's right. But I will have to add that it was because America needed to be here to save Israel.
Yeah, there you go.
And with all the anti-Semitism or whatever, I got news. Israel people are God's chosen people. Now, we were added to the mix. So with Jesus, we're also chosen. But they're still very special people to God. And obviously, you saw what happened. We just saw. You can interpret it any way you want, but I can tell you what: there was no raid on Iran, period, by Israel until we gave them the double backup dome, because we were there shooting down those missiles too, because their Iron Dome wasn't going to withstand what Iran had for them. And then we kind of finished off nukes for them, and so. Now they have more time. So I think God is in control of the whole thing.
Totally agree. Johnny, appreciate it. We'll talk soon. See you up here. Coming for the 4th. That'll be great.
Yes, sir. All right. Can't wait to see you.
All
Thanks,
right. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Brother Johnny down in New Orleans at Bible study. Mr. Steve Suderman is up and around and semi-alert at Good Vibes, where you get your big screens and your sound systems and everything else. How are you? Happy 4th of July, bud.
Hey, thanks. It's kind of like we're getting the band back together with the whole crowd on this
No, that's
morning.
right.
Exactly. Yeah, it was weird when you talked about Kohlberg. I guess he refueled there at Willard or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, however you feel about his status, he's not going to ever hurt anybody again.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yes. I have no particular problem with the death penalty. If anybody ever deserved it, it's that guy.
No kidding.
But I get it. But that's a grim topic. But around here, there are no punishments, only rewards. Our unsale continues, and that's where a bunch of prices went up in April and May, and some in June, and we're ignoring as many of them as we possibly can because we bought stuff that was before the price went up. And that inventory will dwindle and run out sometime in probably July. A few pieces might leak into August, but we can't advertise the old prices or the sale prices. Now there's, but Target and Walmart did exactly the same thing on a much bigger scale. They've loaded the barns, so we haven't seen what's going to happen yet. But I suspect August is going to be a little back to school is going to be a little different than usual this year. So it's a good time to buy, and that applies to darn near anything: cars, appliances, and TVs, and the stuff we sell. There are noticeable exceptions to the unsale, where there are promotions going on because of the 4th of July weekend. So the Sony Bravia 7s and Bravia 8s are legit, and the price of the website, that's the real price. We've got some deals from Denim and Marantz on the receivers that are at least 10 off, and those things are just fantastic. Klipsch has got practically everything on sale. Again, they do that. And this is a 4th of July special promo. So visit our website at gvibes.com. Assume the prices are okay, except where they don't have any promotion number, they might be lower than that. And I'm going to take a couple days off for this holiday. So since I'm done talking to you, I'll be heading for a golf course. But you can call up and take advantage of Mike while I'm gone, and hopefully he'll be overwhelmed.
Well, listen, I hope you hit him straight. Ladies and gentlemen, it's his birthday.
Yeah, why not take the day
off?
off?
Man.
Steve
Happy
Suderman
birthday.
Day.
55? 56?
Yeah. Add more numbers and more candles.
Well, that's awesome. You get to golf a little bit. And can you hit it down there still? Can you do a good job at golf these days? You never play, do you?
Well, I can't shoot my age, at least in 18 holes.
Hey, listen, happy birthday. I'm glad you were born. You're a great guy, and we appreciate you very much, and we appreciate Good Vibes. And again, get over there, Round Barn, next to the driver's license facility, and you can get yourself fantastic. But the biggest deal there is that everybody's got televisions, but they don't have the people.
The service.
Oh, my gosh. You need...
And the biggest deal is that LG 65-inch OLED now at $12.99. $1,249. That's
Beautiful.
I think I want to move those out because those are the 24 miles.
Yeah.
That's the best TV for the buck I've ever made.
No question. Steve, happy birthday, brother. Hey, have a great 4th of July, my friend.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Steve Suderman at Good Vibes.
GVibes.com.
We're going to break for the news. That's Diane Ducey.
Good morning.
I'm Stevie J. It's Wednesday.
8 o'clock.
Yeah. You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
More no's would kill it. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The Republicans' so-called big, beautiful bills back in the House with very little room for defections. With no support from Democrats, a final vote could happen today.
So now the Senate has sent their version of the bill. It's very heavily edited to the House. We're expecting them to begin deliberating. Speaker Mike Johnson and House Majority Leader Steve Scalise say that they're optimistic about this, but Johnson admits that the Senate changed a lot more than he anticipated.
85 to 90% of this bill is the House-generated product. The Senate made some modifications to it. They made it more conservative in some places and moderated it a little bit in others.
The newly amended bill has fiscal watchdogs like Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget warning this bill adds $5.5 trillion to the national debt.
It's Fox business correspondent Kelly Saberi on Capitol Hill. Elon Musk, in a post on X, calls President Trump's comments about him wrong and disappointing. The president says Musk opposes the tax and spending bill because it ends electric vehicle subsidies. Musk says no, it's about the added debt. There's a response from Ukraine to a U.S. decision to stop delivery of some military aid.
Ukraine is warning the United States that any slowdown in the flow of weapons would only make Russia more confident. The Ukrainian Foreign Ministry says while they are grateful for American support, any delay would only encourage the aggressor to continue the war. The Pentagon has halted some shipments of air defense missiles and other munitions because of concerns that stockpiles were too low. Russia has intensified air assaults in recent weeks. The Kremlin today saying the fewer weapons that are delivered, the sooner the conflict will end. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Court's back in session at the Sean Diddy Combs sex trial in New York City, with jurors resuming deliberations on the most serious racketeering conspiracy charge. They say they've reached verdicts on the other 4 charges. We do not know what those verdicts are. America's listening to Fox News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
You hear that? That's Mike, sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZQL Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
The FBI's headquarters in Washington, D.C. is moving 3 blocks away, not to Maryland anymore.
In 2023, the General Services Administration and the FBI agreed to move the headquarters to Greenbelt, Maryland. Congress even put aside about $845 million for this project. But GSA and the FBI say that, quote, moving to the Ronald Reagan building is the most cost-effective and resource-efficient way to carry out our mission to protect the American people and uphold the Constitution.
Fox 5 DC's Nanacentio Bonsu. An American tourist is missing.
A private investigator on the case says Brian Terrence disappeared from the Turks and Caicos rental condo while his wife was still asleep. The 51-year-old Terrence, who is from Monroe, New York, took his stroll at 3:30 in the morning. The investigator, Carl DeFazio, telling Fox News Digital the area is considered safe and that Terrence was last seen on video walking into town when he simply vanishes. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Record travel is expected over this July 4th holiday.
AAA says today is expected to be one of the busiest travel days of the July 4th holiday period, which started on Saturday and ends on Sunday, July 6th. More than 72 million people will travel at least 50 miles or more from home, up almost 2 million from last year. AAA says the number of people traveling by air is expected to set a new record. Almost 6 million people will fly to their destinations, up almost 1.5% from the previous record set last year during Independence Day week. The TSA says more than 18 million travelers are expected to pass through airport security checkpoints between July 1st and July 7th. The busiest day, Sunday, the 6th. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Stock futures are down a little bit ahead of the opening bell on Wall Street. I'm Chris Foster. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. The 5-year wait for new public transportation is nearly over in Champaign County. In 2020, the county area rural transit system awarded 11 new vehicles to completely expand and replace their existing collection, but due to supply chain issues, it took longer than expected. C-Carts provide affordable public transportation to the community. Well, hundreds grieving a Champaign 16-year-old, making sure his life remembered even after it was taken. Arion Turner was shot and killed over the weekend last week, but his family said his legacy lives on. Community members showing support at Centennial Park Monday by releasing balloons. New laws go into effect in the state of Illinois. The state's gas tax going up by over 48 cents a gallon. It makes Illinois the second highest gas tax rate in the country. The city of Chicago's minimum wage for employers with 4 or more employees increasing to $16.60 an hour. There's also a tax increase on Airbnb rentals, sports wagers, and tobacco. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Thank you, Jim Miller. It's coming up on the 4th of July, and so you'll be having those hot dogs and all the good stuff going on the grill.
We're gonna grill.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have the charcoal and the gas going, and I'll have my sous chef, Mr. Christopher.
Yeah, he's good now. He's a guy's really good at this now.
His buds will go get the food, and he cooks it for them.
Well, I'm holding.
When they have their game nights and all that.
Holding some tickets for you at a tailgate of your choice.
We got to get that. Yeah, we got to
come
do football.
back. Yeah,
Definitely.
get the kids to come this
time.
Yeah, and I want Christopher to try that Pitmaster food. Oh yeah. He'd probably really like
Tim
it. Everything.
Onstad. Will he be on tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
He's up tomorrow, but yeah, he'd like to get the flavor into what Tim's doing. It's nuts.
Yeah,
so good. Okay, it's our meteorologist Greg Solier, brought to you this morning by Busey for over 155 years, member FDIC. And if you need insurance, maybe you need some auto, home, life insurance from Kurt Lenschow, State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. It gives you really good peace of mind. Getting some life insurance, knowing everything's going to be okay for your family. So check it out. Kurt Lenschow, State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm and Kurt are there.
It seems like this is the gold star of the week. So if you're preparing for the 4th of July, today seems awesome.
I'm sorry. I was reading a text. Diane said, what did you say again?
I was just saying this is the perfect day. Oh, is Greg with us still?
Yeah, he's there.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. Yeah,
I just think today is a great day to prepare for the 4th of July, because it seems like this is the gold star of the week.
Yeah, the more comfortable of the days, because there is a little more warmth tomorrow, a little more pickup on the humidity as well. Remember, today is Wednesday, tomorrow is Thursday, the 3rd, and then the 4th on Friday. That's, when the stuff gets pretty steamy around here, but nothing out of control, nothing, dangerously hot or humid. Typical early July fare. And that takes us into Saturday. And then we get a little boundary that's going to settle on in. We're going to get a little tap of some Gulf moisture. The tropics getting a little busier in the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. That's just going to draw in really more dew point type air, and will ultimately generate a couple of showers and thunderstorms across parts of the area in scattered coverage fashion between Sunday and Monday. And after that, another push of dry air, mild air. So the week goes on. Typical early July weather, nothing worse than that. And I think we may get through in July in relatively good order around here, with the lack of anything troublesome on heat and moisture. 87 today, sun-filled skies. 67 tonight, 88 tomorrow. A little boost on humidity in the afternoon. That's a hot and humid, sticky 4th of July at 92, 93 on Saturday. The rain chance there, 20%. And at least an even Steven or a little bit higher on the rain odds. So morning and afternoon, Sunday and Monday, daytime temperatures either side of 90. Slightly drier air will keep us in the middle and upper 80s next Tuesday and Wednesday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Yeah, we got some music tonight. It's at Blair Park, which is the one off of Kirby or Florida and cutting Vine. It's funny how many streets.
Florida Vine is Blair Park. Yep, in Urbana. That's tonight?
Yes.
They got baseball diamonds there.
Yes, they do. And they have a little zip line for the kids. That part, they have free Wi-Fi and places to plug in and, bathrooms. And it's a wonderful park. And like you said, the tennis courts and things like that. But Kalesa is the band performing 6:30 to 8 with free popcorn and lemonade.
Awesome.
I always walk around with prizes in my pocket. So come on up and talk radio and I might give you something.
Do people do that?
They do.
Okay.
And they talk about the show, Stevie.
I'm curious as
Usually
to
in a
what you
hushed
have in your
voice.
pocket. I don't think I've given you anything to give away from us.
For years.
We have football and basketball tickets. I don't have them yet.
I mean, I don't do that. It's passes to the pool from the Urbana Park District.
I'll take those.
And sometimes if it's a family, it's a 5-punch card.
Wow.
I know. And when you think it's like $15 a person nowadays, if you're out of the
How much
district,
you go to Sholem?
I think it's the same. If you're out of the
$15?
if you're out of the district, if you live in Urbana, I think it's 10 or 12.
Still.
But
That's $2. We used to ride next door in Philo. We used to have a school bus.
We had a swim bus too in
Okay.
Tolono.
Well, they took us to Crystal Lake.
We'd go to Sholem. Or
I think it was a dime.
Centennial Pool.
I think it was a dime or 15
That's
cents.
right. Mom would send me with, like a
dollar?
quarter to get a popsicle
Okay.
or something.
All right. So
And
$1 was a lot then. Oh, that you're talking about, late 70s.
I just can't believe we hopped on the bus with pretty much no supervision, and we had to be back. It was like a noon to 3 experience or whatever.
I don't remember the time, but I just remember all the kids lining up on the stairs.
That's right.
They
And we
just
had our-
dropped us off. There's no chaperone.
I know.
The guy
We had
that
our suits on under our outfit.
We had a really old guy who was like 15. He was in charge. I mean, it was just a bunch of upperclassmen.
The swim bus.
Yeah, no, ours was in the 60s. Sorry, it's
But and mine was mid 70s or so. I was 10 years old or whatever, and
you just jump on a bus.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I had a great time at those experiences. Yeah, but it is really nice at the Crystal Lake Park Family Aquatic Center.
They've got the whole sand and
and they,
slides
a beachfront
and
entry.
yeah. They have slides now, right?
Yes, they do, and then they have a deep end with the jumping in from the diving board, and you can also do a climbing wall that has an angle that you can drop in.
We used to drive to Bloomington Normal because they had a wonderful aquatic park when the kids were little. They didn't have it at Urbana at that time,
right?
But I think it's fantastic because people drive from other cities to come to your pool because the kids are highly entertained with a hose and sand and making stuff, and then they can go clean up and then go down the slide.
Yeah.
We did that all the time.
And at the Crystal Lake Park Family Aquatic Center, you can pack a cooler and bring in your own snacks and things like that, too. They might go through it to make sure there's no booze or glass or anything like that in there. But you can also purchase from a vending machine if you do need some
If
snacks.
you really want sometime to just entertain yourself, drive there and see how young the lifeguards look.
I know.
Going, okay, are you 9 this year or 10?
It is.
And there are 18 to 22.
But I mean, I feel like they can be 15 or 16 on that
I
job.
think if you get your life-saving skills
That's right.
certification, I think you can, in fact, be a lifeguard.
And you can apply now, urbanaparks.org.
Well,
They're always looking for people.
Go drive on campus. First of all, they're going to be people from China because they can't fly home. It's too far and all these other things. Or they're doing research or whatever they're doing. But the people you see on campus, the veterans, the seniors, or the PhD, they look like children. Don't they? I mean, a lot of them don't
Maybe
shave.
it's us just getting older.
I know, but you're right. I said, I never looked like that. I never looked like that. I was always old and mature and cool.
I felt that way when I was watching the NBA draft. I mean, when you think of Kaspar Shakachonis is only, 18?
But doesn't he
And
look...
same with Cooper Flagg.
But doesn't Kasparis look 24?
I mean, I guess because he's taller.
Cooper Flagg looked 18 to me.
Right.
He just looked 18.
They just seem
But these
younger.
European guys look to me older because I think they've traveled more, been around more, gone through the grind.
Maybe.
Kasparis is playing pro ball since 14. So that's four-year veteran.
I spoke to the Savoy Rotary Club and some travel stuff came up. I was an exchange student in Germany between high school and college, and that does it makes you mature when you're trying to figure out different languages, different people, you don't have your backup of your family that you're hanging on to so tightly. It was quite a learning experience that summer.
Germany. It's a First Nation deal.
Absolutely. And I'm staying with a family, obviously, who is a Rotary Exchange student and hosting me.
But if you ever got a glimpse of where a whole lot, billions live, billions. I mean, there's a billion in China that aren't doing very well, over a billion in India that aren't doing very well. Mm-hmm. And then there's a few hundred million that are pretty good. They're living a decent life. You have no idea. You have no idea that we would appreciate it so much in this country if we were to visit and see what their day-to-day is. And you're going, why am I complaining about anything? Anything.
I know.
Your life, there's mixed up people, but we maybe made it too easy on them. I mean, there's a perspective there that is invaluable. If you're ever able to go to a not so upscale country and see, criminy, they don't even have a bathroom. What do they do? How do they live? I mean, sanitation's non-existent.
I know. And you talked about when you were in India, the smell that you'll never forget.
You just can't describe it because you can't smell it. And you're going, how do they survive? They don't. A lot of them don't. It's just a different deal. And America could use a good boost of appreciation.
Yes, and we're right on the 4th of July. God bless America.
God bless America.
God bless all those communities that are doing celebrations. Be grateful for all the volunteers who are stepping up. We've got a great party coming up for the Champaign County Freedom Celebration after that 4:30 parade with the entertainment, the food trucks, the bounce houses, the Nathan Applegate on stage to entertain us, and then the fireworks at 9:15. J.C. Anderson from Mount Zion said yes to Mississippi and skipped Auburn and
tight
Illinois.
end guy we wanted. Another tight end from Dunlap's going to Alabama.
But we have 22 commits, and it is ranked 6th in the Big Ten, 27th nationally, and some great sources. So I think we're setting up a good class of 2026. We had Pittsburgh over St. Louis yesterday in MLB action, 1-0. Another shutout from the Cardinals, leaving some guys stranded on base.
Yeah, 1 for 13 with the runners in scoring position.
Let's see how we do with Sonny Gray on the mound for the Cardinals, taking on Mitch Keller for the Pirates. 11:35 start here on ESPN 93.5. Shoto Eminaga on the mound for the Cubbies. 5-2 winners over Cleveland yesterday using Tanner Bilby. 7 o'clock start over on US 105.9. LA Dodgers with, who's the dude? He got 30 home runs now.
Shohei Ohtani?
Yes.
Yeah.
6-1 was the final over the Chicago White Sox yesterday. 9-10 start as that series continues. I'll kick with Caitlin Clark, sidelined again for the third consecutive game because of that groin injury. But the Indiana Fever over the Minnesota Lynx 74-59 in this in-season Commissioner Cup championship, and the Fever win.
Well, I heard Clay Travis suggest on Fox last night that Caitlin Clark take her game and start her own league. He thinks she's bigger than the league because it's such horrible treatment that she's been getting. Could she get the financing? Yes. Could she start her own league? Yes. Would people follow? Yes. Would they watch? Uh-huh.
Does she have time for that? No.
No. Congratulations to Busey Bank, which has been named Forbes' Best in State Banks list. This is the third time Busey's been named among the best in state banks by the magazine. In February, they were also named among America's best banks by Forbes for the fourth consecutive year. In addition, Busey honored to be recognized in Illinois as the best place to work, in Florida among the best companies to work for, in Indiana, best place to work. Busey Wealth Investment has also been named to Pensions and Investments Best Places to Work and Money Management list, and the organization was named among the best banks to work for in the U.S. by American Banker. From exceeding the needs of customers and colleagues to serving their communities, Busey Associates have shown unmatched dedication to their pillars for 157 years. Whatever your financial needs, business and beyond, Busey promises the resources to help you succeed. Stop into one of their many convenient locations. Call 1-800-67-BUSEY or visit busey.com to learn more. Member FDIC. Well, this is Wednesday. It is July 2.
Another trending story is this UPenn to strip Leah Thomas of the swimming records, and Riley Gaines is feeling redeemed.
Yeah, so the record will no longer be held by Leah Thomas, formerly William Thomas.
Right.
Let's check your weather. Our meteorologist is Greg Solier.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois. Champaign-Urbana is Saturday. Pretty quiet, uneventful spell of weather for the next few. Temperature and humidity levels expected to climb back as we approach the 4th of July holiday and in itself. Later on into the holiday weekend, another frontal boundary sagging southward. Next opportunity for some degree of organized rainfall. Sunny, warm for the day today. Just the slightest of a west-northwest wind. Highs about 87. Mostly clear tonight. Comfortable down to 67. Sunshine and warm for the day tomorrow. Light west wind prevails and 88. We'll find about near 70 for tomorrow night. Holiday weekend forecast Friday the 4th. It'll be a partly cloudy, hot, more humid day's worth of weather. No rain in the forecast at 92 there. Slightest chance for a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon on Saturday at 93. Scattered showers and thunderstorms. Better odds and coverages Sunday and Monday. Upper 80s and lower 90s there. And back into a slightly cooler, drier air mass with high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Next Tuesday and Wednesday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Private employers pulled back on hiring last month. Payroll processing company ADP says there were 33,000 fewer private sector jobs in June. ADP bases its report on data involving more than 25 million U.S. employees. ADP's chief economist Neela Richardson says layoffs continue to be rare, but a hesitancy to hire and a reluctance to replace departing workers led to job losses. She says still the slowdown in hiring has yet to disrupt pay growth. Annual pay in June was up 4.4% from a year ago. The monthly employment report is released tomorrow. Crude oil prices rose today after Iran said it was suspending cooperating with the UN Atomic Agency. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola. Invested in you.
Hey, I'm Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy Podcast. Join me every Tuesday as we cover the full range of topics that are on your mind and speak with some brilliant, talented, thoughtful women and men who have excelled in their respective fields and careers. Plus, every Thursday is your turn. You get to be the lawyer and you get to ask the questions about whatever is foremost on your mind.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Nate Evans at the Nate Evans Group with eXp Realty. If someone wants to build their dream home, how can you help them find that perfect property?
Yeah, these are getting tougher and tougher every year. Everybody's looking for specific properties. Maybe it's high character. Maybe there's woods, trees, water, pond, lake. The more that Champaign continues to grow, and some of our river town communities offer some of them high character lands, a lot tougher it is to come across these. We have found a huge network of potential sellers and landowners that have told us, hey, if the number makes sense, we'd be willing to sell. And that doesn't always have to be obnoxious. A lot of times that's just timing. We've also found a lot of these parcels, if we get enough demand, that they're willing to chop up and we can subdivide again. I think working with somebody that's familiar and been a part of a lot of these residential subdivision developments, such as ourselves, they'll be aware of the opportunities and the land opportunities for those buyers and be able to partner with the appropriate builders based on their budgets.
You can reach out at Nate Evans Group and start packing.
Hey, could you tell me what aisle your car batteries are in?
Sure, I'll go grab one for you. Here's your battery. It might be expired, but oh well. Also, the brand isn't that great, but it should work for at least a year or two, maybe. Anyways, I went ahead and charged you for it, and here's the battery. Okay, have a great day.
What just happened?
Sometimes good things are hard to find, but they're worth the wait. Make the trip out to Interstate All Battery Center at 2504 North Mattis Avenue and get all of your battery needs taken care of by the trusted professionals. Give them a call today at 355-4855.
Enjoy free yoga at Urbana Park District's Meadowbrook Park each Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. No experience needed. All are welcome. Bring comfortable clothes and your yoga mat or a towel. Instructors can modify the exercises to your experience level. Yoga is a great way to exercise and refresh the mind and soul. Make new friends or bring friends. Saturday mornings from 9 to 10 at Meadowbrook Park. Learn more at urbanaparks.org.
Habitat for Humanity provides a unique opportunity for hardworking people and families to build their own homes.
clear out the clutter and make a difference by donating to the Habitat for Humanity of Champaign County Restore. Your gently used furniture, appliances, and home goods help build homes, community, and hope right here in Champaign County. Drop off donations behind the Champaign County Restore at 1914 Glen Park Drive or schedule a free pickup for qualifying items. Visit cuhabitat.org or call 359-0507. Your clutter changes lives. Donate today.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
PDR Automotive has now been serving the Champaign-Urbana area for over 50 years. To give you some perspective, 50 years ago ended the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War, and it was when Secretariat won the Triple Crown. So what does that mean for you and your vehicle? Whether you need a carburetor overhauled or your new vehicle computer system diagnosed or programmed, PDR Automotive has the experienced, knowledgeable staff that can handle all your automotive needs. Online at pdrauto.com, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR. Okay, so Diane says Nathan Applegate's calling in. He's an up-and-comer.
That's right.
But he grew up in the Lake of the Ozarks.
He did.
And
he's breaking out and blazing a trail towards Nashville and beyond to cement himself as a well-renowned household name. Yes, from the hills and valleys of the Missouri Ozarks,
Yep.
Nathan Applegate will be entertaining us for the 4th of July.
Who owns the Bass Pro Shops? We met him down Branson.
Okay.
And he was the guy that let us golf on the new Tiger Woods golf course.
Okay.
And of course, I just blanked. The owner of the Bass Pro Shops was so kind. And he talked to me on the radio, never called him.
Oh, really?
He said, I'll talk about the Ozarks.
Okay.
That's what he would be willing to do.
It is so fun down there.
And again, I had an accident with my phone, and I think that number went away.
Johnny Morris,
my good dear friend.
Founder and lead outfitter for Bass Pro Shops.
And buddies of Arnold Palmer.
Got his start in 72 selling fish tackle in the back of his father's store. I used to raise night crawlers. And
you sell those.
I did. I had a big bathtub in the shed in my back and put the cornmeal in there, and I'd really treat those night crawlers. And then I'd be out between 5 and 7 in the morning on Saturdays, and people would come by the house, and I had my little card table up, and Gene Ducey always encouraged me, and I have my cardboard sign that said, bait for $1 or whatever.
$1?
I mean, whatever it was back then.
Yeah, that must be well bred there to have $1.
Oh, $1 seems high?
I think for one night. I thought you said one.
No.
Okay.
I had a dozen in a little
just get your shovel out and dig them up. Yeah. Yeah. No, Johnny Morris was great, and if I could ever find his assistant's number again, I didn't have his number. I had his assistant's number. He'd have totally done an interview. He still might.
He still might.
I mean, if I tell him that my two boys, Christian and Benjamin, were the first two kids to ever swing at his 19th hole on the Tiger Woods course, he'd probably remember. Because he said, you got to go down and I want you to hit a shot. And there were all a bunch of dump trucks and cement trucks and there's no hole. Well, they hit it to about where they thought it was going to be in two great shots. Both boys hit them really good shots. And Johnny Morris enjoyed all that. So if I could ever, why didn't I call that back?
Right. And look at all the stuff he's supporting, humanitarian efforts and veterans and community, inspiring leaders.
Oh,
let's try to connect with this guy.
He was on the phone. He's a $5 billionaire or something.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
He was.
If we get him on, maybe he can sponsor the 4th of July next year, because that's what I need for America's 250.
Johnny, one more thing. Well, nobody has ever asked you this, but can you give a little money? No more than $1 million, because that's in your left pocket. I think go for it.
Anyway, we started this conversation saying Nathan Applegate, who's our entertainer for the 4th of July. And,
we'll talk to Nathan Applegate next. And you might be here in the next, I don't know, Garth Brooks for all I know.
He might be.
Never know. Stand by for that, 8:28. We'll be right back.
At Carpet Weaver's Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people with amazing service, great design advice, and unbeatable selection and the best prices in town. It's the perfect time to update your home with waterproof flooring, carpet, hardwood, tile, and more. Then complete your rooms by shopping our incredible selection of furniture and accessories. We also offer great financing options. Carpet Weaver's Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people.
Congratulations to the Village of Philo on its 150th anniversary, of which 142 of those years, Philo Exchange Bank has served the community. Join us as we celebrate 150 years of Philo on July 17th through the 20th. We have also partnered with the Champaign County History Museum to have an exhibit in our downtown Philo Bank starting July 17th. Find more information at philobank.com or on our Facebook page.
Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
What we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Actually, I called the provider. It was just going to be a while before I could have service, and I couldn't wait, so I was recommended to Classic. Professionalism, their dependability, credibility, and the service technicians. I wouldn't ever call anybody else.
I truly believe that after people have experienced other companies and then given us a try, they can clearly see the difference.
Visit ClassicPlum.com.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. One big, beautiful final vote as soon as today after the House Rules Committee passed the bill over two conservatives' objections. Florida Republican Mike Herodopoulos urging colleagues to vote for it, telling Fox.
The time has come to back up the promises made by our Republicans and by our president to make sure we have tax relief and border security. It is our way to keep the promise to the American public.
Day of reckoning for Brian Kohberger before a judge to plead guilty to murdering four Idaho college students to avoid the death penalty and get life in prison with no appeal. He will not have to explain the murders. The family of Kaylee Consalves says the system has failed.
I also spoke to Kaylee's father last night, who told me, quote, "This isn't what we fought for."
Fox's Chanley Painter in Boise. Two families support the deal, but the judge has to sign off. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Well, hundreds grieving a Champaign 16-year-old, making sure his life remembered even after it was taken. Arion Turner was shot and killed over the weekend last week, but his family said his legacy lives on. Community members showing support at Centennial Park Monday by releasing balloons. New laws go into effect in the state of Illinois. The state's gas tax going up by over 48 cents a gallon. It makes Illinois the second highest gas tax rate in the country. The city of Chicago's minimum wage for employers with 4 or more employees increasing to $16.60 an hour. There's also a tax increase on Airbnb rentals, sports wagers, and tobacco. A 5-year wait for new public transportation is nearly over in Champaign County. In 2020, the county area rural transit system awarded 11 new vehicles to completely expand and replace their existing collection, but due to supply chain issues, it took longer than expected. C-Carts provide affordable public transportation to the community. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Joe Miller.
At ABC Heating and Air, it's our promise to help you always be comfortable. Do you need rescued because you're burning hot? Do you need rescued because your air is shot? Call ABC Heating and Air at 352-5400 and let us rescue you from the heat. ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400. Can't you see you need to call me at ABC? Call ABC Heating and Air. That's ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather. Free Central Illinois, Champaign, Urbana vicinity. Nice, comfortable air mass into position. Humidity and dew points are down. They'll begin to creep back up here tomorrow. And it's some heat and humidity, but very much a manageable setup for this 4th of July holiday weekend. Next frontal system will snake its way across the area late in the weekend, early next weekend. Our next opportunity for organized rainfall back into play. Sunny and rain-free for the day-to-day. Lower afternoon humidity. A comfortable day's high of 87. Mostly clear tonight, 67. Just the slightest of a west-southwest wind. Tomorrow, sunny and warm. Light west wind, the high around 88. We'll bottom out near 74 tomorrow night. Weekend forecast, it's a partly cloudy, hot, and more humid 4th of July at 92. Small chance for a thunderstorm in the afternoon on Saturday at 93. Better odds, though, get going over Sunday and Monday with highs upper 80s and lower 90s. Will be a push of slightly cooler, more importantly, drier establishing itself for Tuesday and Wednesday next week. Daytime temperatures still in the upper 80s. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm just Greg Solgay.
Yeah, 4th of July is the homecoming parade route. That's what we're doing. We also got a later start to the parade where then you kind of meld into the evening. And at 6 o'clock at night.
Champaign County Freedom Celebration. Been working hard for this party. If you need more details, July4th.net.
Yep, I'm Stevie J. That's Diane Ducey.
Good morning.
Nathan Applegate, Ozark Mountain Night. Ozark Mountain Night, you just filmed the video for this, didn't you, Nathan?
I did. I sure did. Yeah, last week in Southwest Missouri.
I don't think I care how you got into music. I kind of care how you got into weightlifting.
Oh.
What the world, man? You got to let those puppies breathe now.
That's
Come on.
right.
Come on. Yeah, what the heck?
I don't know what the permit laws are in Illinois, but I do not have a permit.
Doesn't have permit for those guns. What's your best bench?
Oh, my goodness. To be honest, I don't even keep track. I just throw some weights on there and try to lift what I can and be happy and healthy is just the goal.
Well, you look happy and healthy, and you got a good thing going on, man. So you love music. Who got you started in that?
Yeah, well, when I was a kid, I'd go out to the Shepherd of the Hills outdoor drama down in Branson, Missouri with my grandma Laverne.
Yep.
I'd sit and watch the show, and I think from there I just kind of got bit by the showbiz bug. And she sang in the church choir, so anytime the doors were open at church, she had me up there during special music singing a song just about every Sunday.
Nice. Well, down in Branson, we've been there many times. We love Top of the Rock. And
yeah, oh, man, it's beautiful.
Unbelievable. Well, we happened to run into Johnny Morse down there. It was just such a nice man. He told me he'd be on my radio show if I talked about the Ozarks.
With the Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah. He's the billionaire Bass Pro Shop owner, but he's a guy that loves the Ozarks. What is it about the Ozarks that gave you the kind of upbringing that you have?
Well, I think the Ozarks is just such a special place. And there we had, I say, the best of both worlds. You know, I'd spend my days running around barefoot in the creek, and then in the evenings I'd be backstage sitting at Branson shows, and I really, again, had best of both worlds. I'm talking blisters on my feet and then rhinestones in my eyes. So I had the best of country living, and around town we could go experience the glitz and glamour of the Branson 76 Country Music Boulevard Strip, and I think from there it just kind of all snowballed.
Nathan Applegate, I'm looking on your website at nathanapplegate.com, and you're looking like you're swinging to flop right there into this creek or something, and you're shirtless there, and it looks like a pretty fun life in the Ozarks.
It was.
But now you're going trying to make it in Nashville, right?
Yeah, that is correct. I live in Nashville, Tennessee now, and I just packed everything that I knew and learned back home and took it with me to Nashville, and now I'm just out trying to do some good stuff where I can.
I tell you, next to Christian music, you all mention God more than any other genre as far as country music, and there's just a goodness there. That's what I become probably 30 years ago. Became very mainstream, kind of like Top 40 used to be. It's kind of the country scene now. And how do you fit in? Do you think, as far as your upbringing, what you're finding out in Nashville, which is a great town, what you're figuring out as you go?
Yeah, good question. When you move to Nashville, you have stars in your eyes, and then you really got to hone in how you want people to see you and what do you want your image, your brand, and your sound to be. And it kind of starts out being all over the place, but then again, after you kind of start getting your feet a little sturdier, you'll be able to figure out exactly what all that'll be for you and how you want yourself to be represented and represent where you come from and the people that helped raise you and all that stuff. So Nashville has been good for me to be able to do that. And thankfully, as an independent artist right now, still, I have the creative liberty to just kind of do what I envision for the most part.
We've all seen The Voice and American Idol and America's Got Talent. All seen those. People have no idea the contracts these kids sign. They own you.
Sure,
they absolutely own you. And here you are at this point. Somebody's going to come and find you and want you to sign a 35-page contract. Do you have lawyers in your family or people you can trust?
I do actually have a few, but you just gotta. When that opportunity comes around, you're absolutely right. You've just gotta pray about it and get some good people around you on your team that you can trust, and you guys can make the best decisions for moving forward.
Is your foundation of faith part of who you are, or a big part of who you are?
Absolutely. When growing up in church is one thing, but then becoming an adult is another, to kind of hang on to that faith, because sometimes and many times it's all you've got at the end of the day. Especially this journey can be kind of lonely at times, down in Nashville all by yourself and trying to just get your stuff out there and share your God-given talents with the world, and there's many times where you just have to sit in the presence of the Lord and ask Him to provide and give you peace over your journey.
In 5 years from now, if I told you you're going to be on the stage at the Grammys and win, will you change? Will you say, "Hey, kid, leave me alone, don't bother me," or are you going to stay Nathan Applegate?
Well, in my heart, in my mind, I'd like to say I'm going to stay Nathan Applegate. I don't take the responsibility lightly when it comes to being a public image or a public figure one day, and know that there's a lot of people, young and old, that may look up to you, and you want to be a good role model as best you can. You only got one life to live, and you want to live it good and live it right to the best of your ability. And I'd like to really stay true to my roots and who I am, and not stray too far from that at all.
I mean, when you start getting the money rolling in, the people telling you how wonderful you are every day, you're amazing, sign this, sign that. I can't imagine that kind of existence, but you're on that track.
Right, yeah. And I'm sure it can go to your head real quick. And again, that's kind of where faith can kind of come back into the picture, and you've just got to have something to keep you grounded and keep you leveled. Otherwise, things could really spiral and spin out of control pretty quickly.
And again, you got to watch the people trying to get a piece of you and not be in your best interest. Those people are everywhere in Nashville.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is very true. And again, you just got to be mindful about who you keep in your circle, and you be kind to everybody and show them kindness, but you're not for everybody, and everybody's not for you. So
I think we're going to design the Nathan Applegate shirt. It's going to be the long sleeve.
Yeah, and then it's sleeveless.
No, they'll have sleeves, and then the Velcro, you rip them off. It's like a costume change, and rip those puppies off, let those guns breathe,
now,
baby.
you have some connections here in Champaign-Urbana, right, Nathan Applegate?
I sure do. Yes, I do. A lot of my family lives here. My mom's side of the family. They've been here for well over a century, so it's fun to be here and to be spending some time up here for the holidays.
Southwest Champaign, Zahn Park.
Zahn Park is your relative family thing going on there, so yeah. Well, Nathan, you got just a great balance. This is awesome. People will enjoy seeing you on stage 6 o'clock at the 4th of July celebration before the fireworks. How long are you on stage? They didn't put you up for a 6-hour gig, did they? How long are you going to be there?
Not quite. I'm thankful for the nice weather. It will be warm, but we're all going to stay hydrated, and we'll be out there till 9 o'clock performing on the main stage. That'll be on Kirby Avenue between 1st and Oak Street. And we're planning on doing a lot of great music for everybody. We've got 5 incredible local musicians, part of the band, and we're going to be playing some great music, and there'll be lots of great venues out there, and things for everybody to do. So I just want to invite everybody to bring their families and friends and come hang out with us.
All right, listen, people are going to root for you, Nathan. They're going to root for you because you're a good dude.
Good job.
And you're just after it. You're hungry, which I love. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk hopefully again when you turn and get that Grammy. You need to come back on. So just remember Champaign, Illinois.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'll
like
give you
I said,
give you the Stevie J test. Did he change? Did he change?
That's
Was he
right.
saying, we can play this interview side by side. He's the same guy, man.
That's right.
He's just the same guy, and he took advantage of the $1 million idea of ripping those sleeves off with Velcro. Come on, man. Let's go.
That's very me. I'm a little extra as it is, so that's just like me to pull out all the stops.
That's awesome. Love it. Listen, good meeting you, and Godspeed. Hope you do really well, and I know you'll do great at the 4th on Friday. But
That's right.
Thanks for coming into town. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you all so much for having me on this morning and for this opportunity and the platform. It means a lot.
You
All
bet.
right, you
Good
take
talking
care.
to you. Nice meeting you. Nathan Applegate.
God bless America. July4th.net for all the details about the 4th of July put together by the Champaign County Freedom Celebration. And he'll take the stage around 6 after that 4:30 parade.
Those are the guys I root for. People like that. No question. Just got it going on.
Here's a little snippet of Nathan Applegate's music.
We're all honky tonks and rodeos, bonfires and fishing holes, way out where nobody knows, just reeling the good times in. Tailgates.
Grandma Laverne took him to the shows in Branson.
I love it.
If we scuffle,
You can't get stories like this in most music.
I know it.
Yeah.
we may be a little more backwoods in the town where you hail from. Brother, we're about as redneck as they come. We're country
On the stage, Friday night, 6 o'clock for 3 hours.
For the 4th of July,
That's
right
awesome.
ahead of our 9:15 fireworks. Enjoy.
ASBN 93.5.
Podungville.
Hey, all you backyard chefs and grill gurus, barbecue season is here, and I know that you're anxious to fire up that smoker or grill, but your yard needs mowed. Yes, your wife is getting hangry, but that grass isn't going to cut itself. What's an aspiring pitmaster going to do? Get the world's fastest mower, of course, a Dixie chopper from Dedicated Diesel in Urbana. They carry a full line of Dixie choppers from the Z2 and Magnum residential models up to the big Excalibur and classic commercial machines that can mow nearly 8 acres an hour. This is award-winning competition pitmaster Tim Onstadt, and whether I'm cooking low and slow or hot and fast, I always have time to savor the flavor because my mowing time is cut down by Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest mower. Get your Dixie Chopper at Champaign-Urbana's only dealer, Dedicated Diesel, at 1313 Triumph Drive in Urbana, 217-328-0562.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Are you or a loved one 65 and older and need to schedule your free annual Medicare wellness visit? An annual Medicare wellness visit allows you and your healthcare provider to establish a personalized prevention plan for your healthcare. Call your Christie Clinic primary care provider to learn more and schedule your free annual Medicare wellness visit. Stay well with Christie Clinic.
Make an appointment today at ChristieClinic.com and click on online scheduling. Take care of yourself and put your health first.
All right, check your sports headlines with Diane Ducey.
All right, Pittsburgh beat St. Louis 1-0 yesterday. Mitch Keller to the mound for the Pirates, taking on Sonny Gray for the St. Louis Cardinals. It's a 11:35 start, so is that 10:45 pregame here
10:40,
Okay.
and then 35 is 55-minute Cardinal pregame, and then Cardinals got to get this last game at Pittsburgh. Even the Pirates have won 5 in a row.
And we think the drive will happen then, and we're on the last stretch with some of our key players here at
it's
Stevie J
Derek
Broadcasting.
Piper's last show. I'm going to jump on with him, with Lon and Derek, and talk about Derek's contribution and how good he's been. What a good man he is.
Absolutely. And congratulations on this new chapter that he'll be approaching. And then we'll be back strong in August with a great new look on the drive. Of course, we'll have Lonte as our main driver.
Lon's taken as the kind of a
little
siesta.
vacation. Yeah.
Well, it's just the middle of summer.
It is. It's a slower
Derek
time.
leaving, and we want to make sure
We'll
that
just kind of reset. All good.
And Kyle Tosca's playing for the Rockford Rivets.
Yes.
He's not playing for him,
No,
but
he's like PR and statistics.
So when Kyle gets back, Kyle and Lon and to be determined after that. So we'll figure it out.
That's right. Cubs over Cleveland 5-2 yesterday. Their game's at 7 o'clock tonight as that series continues on US 105.9.
All right.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World Command Center.
Paul, we have extreme heat warning. Summer 2025 is a hot one in Champaign-Urbana.
That's trouble for garage refrigerators.
One just went down in Rantoul. They need delivery right away, Paul.
Put them on for tomorrow. What's going on down here in Fisher?
It's a window air conditioner going out.
Can't have that. Good thing we deliver and install window ACs. We have plenty in stock.
Garage freezer in B-Man. Customer wants a technician out right away. She's afraid her beef is thawing.
Hate it when that happens. We have a tech in the area. Send Nate right over.
Copy that.
Team, it's like we talk about. At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, we know what hot weather can do to home appliances. More importantly, we're always ready for the heat with fast, friendly repair service and delivery, plus the largest selection of appliances in Champaign-Urbana.
Paul, customer in Muhammad, needs a portable dehumidifier ASAP. Says his tools are rusting out from the humidity.
That can happen. We have dehumidifiers for pickup or fast delivery. Remember, at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, you get the whole store.
Wow.
When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Want unbeatable prices on your next furniture purchase, but also seeking that local hometown feel? Look no further than Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Customers rave about their friendly, established staff, as well as their great selection, amazing prices, and second-to-none delivery service. They're a third-generation local business, and they've always got your best interests at heart. Find the look you love for less. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday, but always available online at kelseyfurniture.com. That's kelseyfurniture.com.
Urbana's
Hello
market
again,
at the
everyone. Let's
square.
check weather for Eastern Illinois. Champaign-Urbana vicinity. Pretty quiet, uneventful spell of weather for the next few. Temperature and humidity levels expected to climb back as we approach the 4th of July holiday and in itself. Later on into the holiday weekend, another frontal boundary sagging southward. Next opportunity for some degree of organized rainfall. Sunny, warm for the day today. Just the slightest of a west-northwest wind. Highs at about 87. Mostly clear tonight. Comfortable down to 67. Sunshine and warm for the day tomorrow. Light west wind prevails and 88. Well, about near 70 for tomorrow night. Holiday weekend forecast Friday the 4th. It'll be a partly cloudy, hot, more humid day's worth of weather. No rain in the forecast at 92 there. Slightest chance for a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon on Saturday at 93. Scattered showers and thunderstorms. Better odds and coverages Sunday and Monday. Upper 80s and lower 90s there. And back into a slightly cooler, drier air mass with high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s next Tuesday and Wednesday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Urbana's Market at the Square has been cultivating a vibrant scene in CU since 1979. Get to know your farmers bringing locally harvested honey, crafts, jewelry, art, fresh cut flowers, plus produce including fresh leafy greens and root vegetables, fresh baked treats, and a wide selection of proteins. Going on now, every Saturday, 7 a.m. till noon, rain or shine at Illinois and Vine, it's Urbana Market at the Square. Find Urbana Market on Facebook or urbanamarket.org.
Hey, where are you headed?
To Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola.
What do they have there?
What don't they have there? Living room furniture, benches, chests, love seats, sectionals, tables, bedroom sets, hutches, nightstands, end tables, cabinets, mirrors, stools, clocks, lamps, pillows, rugs, desks, media consoles, patio furniture, Tempur-Pedic mattresses, and more.
So, everything.
Yeah, probably could have just said that.
Kelsey Furniture, quality for less.
At ABC Heating and Air, it's our promise to help you always be comfortable. Do you need rescued because you're burning hot? Do you need rescued because your air is shot? Call ABC Heating and Air at 352-5400 and let us rescue you from the heat. ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400. Can't you see you need to call me at ABC? Call ABC Heating and Air. That's ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow right here in Champaign-Urbana can switch you over so you can start saving today. Kurt and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. It's easy to switch and save. Just give them a call when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's Farmer City, baby, and it's been a great time so far this season. So for 4th of July, we're thanking you for your support with a full show for just $5. All the late models, modifieds, pro-lates, and mods, and the street stocks for just $5. And kids 12 and under are free. And fireworks to end the night right. This 4th of July, Farmer City Raceway is thankful for you. So come get a night of racing action and fireworks for just a picture of a Lincoln. $5. Farmer City Raceway, just off 150 in Farmer City.
We're talking to John Reichert and Neil Asklin. I guess the first question for me, John, is what is it like being part of A&R, knowing how this all started? It was your grandfather, then your dad, and now you, and 100 years in business is hard. How do you explain that?
Well, it's incredible, honestly. When I was a boy, obviously my father was running the company. It's always been, part of my life, but I knew that we had good people, at that time that worked for the company. I think with God's help and protection that we survived and frankly thrived.
I think the thrive is the key word here. Neil Asklin, I guess, let me ask you about your dad, Ken Asklin, who partnered with Dave, and they got it going in the 50s and kept it going, and you being part of the company.
I've been around since I was a young teenager, so something that I've grown to love, and the camaraderie and getting things done. And these huge projects that we're doing now just amazes me.
A&R Mechanical, a thriving leader 100 years later. Amazing. In fact, Tim Onstad made brisket for A&R yesterday as kind of their 100th anniversary for all the employees, and boy, were they treated. We'll get Tim on tomorrow, Nathanielson tomorrow. No John Decker, he's on vacation.
And some text coming in to 359-2255 about the impact that Derek Piper has had here at Stevie J Broadcasting.
Listen to Derek and Lon this afternoon with Curtis Allen as well. Thank you, Diane.
Enjoy the day.
I'm Stevie J. Have a great Wednesday.
Hi, I'm Tyler Weaver, president of Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. It's time to come home to Carpet Weavers. We don't want you to just like your new floors. We want you to love them. From waterproof floors and carpet to furnitures and design advice, we've got a team of experts on your side. We'll get you the best price and the best quality products. And complete your home with furniture and accessories. Buy it all with free financing too. Come home to Carpet Weavers, where floors, furniture, and family meet.
Actually, I called the provider. It was just going to be a while before I could have service, and I couldn't wait, so I was recommended to Classic. Professionalism, their dependability, credibility, and the service technicians, I wouldn't ever call anybody else.
I truly believe that after people have experienced other companies and then given us a try, they can clearly see the difference.
Visit ClassicPlum.com.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
When the storm rolls in, where will you go? Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your family with a custom storm shelter from Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services. At Berg Tanks, their shelters are fiberglass and plate steel safe rooms that can be installed in your garage or exterior, in ground, or on a concrete pad, built to withstand the toughest storms, giving you a safe, secure place when you need it most. Whether you need a compact unit for a small space or a larger shelter for the whole family, they've got you covered. Their expert team handles everything from excavation to installation so you can have peace of mind before the next storm strikes. Berg Septic also specializes in septic pumping, new system installation, grease trap cleanings, repairs, and maintenance plans to keep your home running smoothly. Call Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services today at 217-367-8632 or visit them online at bergtanksinc.com. That's BERGtanksinc.com.
At Christie Clinic, our commitment is for the care of our community. That commitment includes keeping care local, where our patients, their families, our clinics, and their hospital of choice are located. Our providers live and work here. It's their passion to care for their families and neighbors. Thank you for choosing Christie Clinic, your hometown provider. When you do, you support the health and well-being of your community.
Make an appointment today at ChristieClinic.com and click on online scheduling. Take care of yourself and put your health first.
Meanwhile, at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World Command Center.
Paul, we have extreme heat warning. Summer 2025 is a hot one in Champaign-Urbana.
That's trouble for garage refrigerators.
One just went down in Rantoul. They need delivery right away, Paul.
Put them on for tomorrow. What's going on down here in Fisher?
It's a window air conditioner going out.
Can't have that. Good thing we deliver and install window ACs. We have plenty in stock.
Garage freezer NB man. Customer wants a technician out right away. She's afraid her beef is thawing.
Hate it when that happens. We have a tech in the area. Send Nate right over.
Copy that.
Team, it's like we talk about. At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, we know what hot weather can do to home appliances. More importantly, we're always ready